bringing us back round to our present location, you're looking out over a small pond, the pond that you caught rudd in as a boy, and it quite often during this interview you've looked out and presumably wistfully into the distance because you've got quite an array of fowl in there, haven't you? Can you tell us a little bit about your what must be a bit of an obsession with ducks and wildfowl?
Yeah, I think from a very young age, ducks were something that was a really pretty looking, nice thing that quacked, and seemed to be always sort of a friendly type bird to look at, and the fact that it was always dibbling around in the water and making ripples and generally being entertaining, I think was something that I always wanted to have and to look at. Certainly I remember buying my first shell duck, which seemed to be a very exotic looking duck, obviously pretty common on them, but here in more rural parts of Suffolk, the fact that a shell duck was something black and white and brown that made a funny quack 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 quacking sound was something that was fantastic to have, and put them and brought two home, supplementing the fox ate within a very short space of time. But that was probably my introduction to having ducks at home. Now I've got a lovely collection of Northern European ducks out here that I can see: widgeon, teal, gadwall, shoveler, potsherd and tufted and golden eye and eider. It is a lovely thing to look at. When the sun is shining on a pintail sitting out there in full colour, you have a hard job to take your eyes off him. Very lucky to have them there. And they wouldn't be there, sadly, without an electric fence to stop our friends the otters from eating them. And that's, whether you call it a blessing or a reality of life, we've now got otters in all our waterways. And our wildlife will either have to live with them or they will disappear. Only time will tell what will happen. We're using a Barretta Auto. You can get some very fancy coloured ones painted now. I have got a fancy coloured one, but it's being repaired. Lots of different shot, toxic sorts. The new steel shot, I believe comparable with lead, certainly through the right choking. 32 gram 5s. You can use bismuth, which is sort of this sort of make, a lot more expensive, about 35 quid a box. These will cost you about 12 or 15 and do the job quite well. Yeah, nothing fancy about it. You don't want anything too smart on the marsh because it'll get ruined anyway. Yeah, a nice easily handling gun. I mean, personally I think having 3 shots is a tremendous advantage. I'm not saying you shoot 3 ducks, but it's very useful if you've got a duck down and it looks as if it's going to swim. Even our dogs here will struggle in the tide, and if you can humanely dispatch them before they swim off, then that's a big advantage, and you get something to take home at the end of the day. A nice whistle. Sadly my hearing's so bad now I can't really hear it very well, but you can sort that one out. That's a ballard. That's for geese if they do come. Yeah. I think the last time I shot here, I shot a gadwall over there and walked round to here, and a skein of Canadas came off the marsh here. And I got fortunate enough to shoot a pair here, and I picked them up and thought, that's great, Tim, but you imagine carrying a pair of Canadian geese and your stuff back to where we've just come from? That's quite physically hard. Rest assured, I've now got a filleting knife in here that the breast will come off and the crabs and gulls will have the rest. Yeah. I've had a barn owl come right as close as that in the past. Got a nice picture just with a normal camera. Anyway, we can have a seawalk. I'm still a great believer in ducks move at, obviously, twilight. I'm sure they must. There's certainly a movement at the last glimmers of proper light, and obviously dawn when things go. I mean, ducks are like anything else. They are predated by falcons, birds of prey, so if they can see more of their environment, then they obviously feel safer. But having said that, they move obviously right through the middle of the night, teal or flight all through the night when there's sufficient light. So certainly flight ponds that are fed, feed goes week on week, never see any duck morning, never see any duck in evening, and the old trip camera's seen them coming 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I see them. Yeah. There's a degree of consideration of light. I mean, certainly on a river system, clearly when you've got this sort of condition, they don't like sitting out in that choppy water, so they'll seek shelter. And the higher the water, the bigger expanse, the rougher it gets for them, and the more they're likely to move. There's duck moving down there now going onto the marsh. Yep, I can see him, yep. Oh, hopeless. So just see those two black silhouettes getting bigger. It's the challenge, it's the pursuit of wild quarry that's totally unpredictable. I think you've got to really love the environment of water and mud and not be too concerned about getting muddy and grubby and physically making a real effort to pursue something. I think you've got to be a bit of a naturalist stroke ornithologist, because you know, not only have you got to be able to get there, you've got to be able to identify what you're going to shoot at. In what's now the light's starting to go, we still need to know exactly what we're shooting at. I think it's possibly the challenge, I think, probably, that drives people out to these wild places to try and shoot a duck or a goose. Yeah, I think you've really, when you go home, you've actually shot a duck or a goose, you have seriously achieved something. Even when, if we shot that mallard just then, you know, we're only halfway home. We've got to make sure our friend here is going to pick it up, and if it's a swimmer, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? You know, that swimming mallard out there, having spent a lifetime catching ducks with nets and things, you know, you can have a growlag goose in a 30 metre by 15 metre pond, 2 foot deep, and you can chase it up and down with a seine net all day and you probably won't catch it. So it's up to our friend there with its knowledge to nail it, see where it's going to dive, see where it's going to come up next. And so it is the ultimate challenge, I think. Yeah, if you can pit your wits in pretty extreme environments. Yeah, I like that mallard I just shot. I've probably shot far too many pheasants and partridges the last few months and probably haven't missed very many at all, but I've just slid down the bank, shot 3 times at a mallard and never been anywhere near it. But that's just the wildfowling for you. So,
Thank you for watching this short clip of one of our films. If you enjoyed it, there is plenty more. Head over to fieldfoodandcountry.co.uk and become a member today.